Welcome to Round Class. I'm Palma Michel, and I look forward to connecting and co-creating with you. In today's session, we will explore how you can harness the power of curiosity to boost your creativity, but also to bring more joy, aliveness, and meaning into your life. Why did I say co-creation? Because this meditation depends as much on what I'm instructing as it depends on how much you give yourself to the practice and how much you explore these practices for yourself in your daily life. Now, I work a lot both with private clients and also in the corporate setting. And one of the things that I realized in the last few weeks was that many of my clients, they reported that they feel quite flat. They feel that life is boring and a bit dull, which is obviously no wonder after over a year in sort of lockdown, but also for many people with constant Zoom meetings. So if that sounds familiar to you, that's entirely normal. And it's also related to something that's quite interesting about our minds, because our minds, they do have this sort of novelty seeking bias, but at the same time, they get used to everything that once was super exciting or beautiful or nice. And then the mind just goes next, boring. I know that already. And one way that this showed up recently for me, for example, was a few months ago, I lived in Madeira, and in Madeira, there are absolutely beautiful sunsets. And in the beginning, for the first 2 months, I really made sure that every night that there was a sunset, I would go out and watch it. But sort of in month 3, I noticed that there was a sunset. And I was like, there's a sunset. And I often went inside and I worked on my laptop or I did something different. So it felt a little bit boring. But the way it also can show up in a more positive way is last week I was invited to take part in a workshop myself. And a workshop sort of had an invitation to be, I guess, a little bit like an innocent child, to be open, innocent, and curious. And then the invitation was to go outside into nature and to just basically go into nature with a playful, curious attitude of not knowing. And I went outside into the garden of the hotel that I'm currently staying in. And I looked around and I saw that the green was not just green. I saw that there were so many different shapes of leaves. I saw that there were so many different colorings. I even sort of discovered new plants that I hadn't seen, even though I had been sitting in this garden many times before. And everyone else in this workshop also reported something similar, that they discovered so many new things, that they found much more joyful. And also at the same time, that this kind of short walk, which was literally just 10 minutes, was sort of adding so much more refreshment, new ideas and joy to their lives than, for example, like a 1-hour walk with their dog that they're doing on a daily basis is normally bringing. So sometimes it can really just be small impulses that can make a massive difference. And I would now like to invite you also to explore this childlike curiosity in a guided meditation. So if you're not already having it, I invite you to find a comfortable meditation posture. And as you can see, I'm sitting here on a couch. So you could either sit on a couch, on a chair, on a stool, even on your bed, or if you're really comfortable to fold yourself up, as I call it, like a pretzel, then feel free to do it, but it's not required. Just make your choice, whatever works for you. And then you also have a choice to either close your eyes, which I will be doing, or to rest your gaze at a point in front of you, whatever feels more comfortable. I personally find for beginners, it can be a bit easier sort of to close the eyes because it minimizes distractions. but just see what works for you. And once you found your comfortable posture and decided if you wanted to close your eyes or keep your eyes open, I invite you to take a moment to really arrive in your body, in your seat, and in the present moment. And see if it's possible throughout this meditation to keep this notion of innocence and openness, that curiosity. And with that curiosity, I invite you to just notice for a moment what's present at the level of your body. How is your body feeling in this moment without judging it? And then notice that same level of curiosity, what's present in your mind right now? Are there thoughts or no thoughts? And what kind of thoughts can you notice? Are they familiar or unfamiliar? And are they about the past, the present, or the future? Just notice. And lastly, is there any emotion, any sort of feeling or emotional current present in your experience in this moment? And what's the quality of your breath like right now? Where can you notice it in the body? And is it fast or slow? Deep or shallow? Let's start deepening our breath together by taking a deep inhale through your nose and a slow exhale through your mouth. Inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly. And as you're breathing here, is it possible to be curious about your breath? What is that thing, your breath? And what can you notice? Inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly. And if you notice that your attention wanders off to sounds, thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, the moment you notice it, you're already fully present. And then just see if it's possible to get back to your breath. From your breath, I invite you now to travel with your awareness, with your attention, into your body. As if you were an explorer or a scientist, exploring the sensations in your body, as if you'd never investigated your body before. Slowly moving your attention all the way down to the soles of your feet, and as best as you can, examining them with your awareness, being curious about any sensations in your feet in this moment. What's present? And if you find it difficult at any point to notice sensations, then just notice that there are no sensations for you right now. It's perfectly fine. Moving your attention to your legs. Just screening your lower legs and your upper legs. What can you notice about them? What's their temperature like? What does the texture of your clothes feel like? What sensations and things can you discover about your legs? Maybe remembering how it was as a child, not knowing what something was, and just exploring it with curiosity. Maybe even wonder. With that curiosity and wonder, I invite you to explore your lower back for a moment. And maybe the mind already has an opinion. It's an area that's tricky for me, or a preference. And if that's the case, just notice that. And see if you can be gentle with yourself here. And explore anything that's fresh or new about this area of your body. Noticing your middle back, investigating it. What can you notice about your middle back? What can you notice about your upper back? If you're like me, your mind immediately says, "Ooh, my shoulders are tense." And if that's the case, is it possible to go right into that tension and be curious about the sensation of tension? If you didn't know what tension was, how would you describe it? Is that a steady sensation, or is it changing in any way? And if you notice your mind wandered off to sounds or thoughts or feelings, just take a moment to acknowledge that To notice how you notice that your mind wandered off. And then gently move your attention to your lower abdomen. Again, an area maybe where your mind already has many opinions or labels. But is it possible to drop all those for a moment and to simply sense into your lower abdomen and to investigate any sensations in your lower abdomen? What can you notice? What about the area of your heart, your chest? Investigating it like a scientist or explorer, piece by piece, part by part. What sensations can you notice? And do these sensations have a rhythm or a color? Are they warm or cold? What's piquing your interest in that area of your body? Moving your attention into your right hand, noticing how your attention knows where your right hand is, even without looking at it. And what sensations can you notice in your right hand? And what sensations are there in your left hand? Moving your attention into your right arm, screening it piece by piece, part by part. Is there anything fresh or new that you can notice about your right arm in this moment? And in the next moment. What about your left arm? If your attention wandered off to sounds, thoughts, feelings, just congratulate yourself for a moment that you noticed that. That's already progress in your meditation practice. And then investigating, what can you notice in your left arm? Is there anything that's new, surprising, familiar? Taking a moment, maybe to marvel or reflect about the fact that there are trillions of cells right now in your body, all cooperating seamlessly to enable you to hear my voice, to follow my instructions, to sit here, to breathe, to be alive. And how you don't need to do any of these things consciously. Your body just knows what needs to be done. To me, that's always awe-inspiring. Moving your attention now to your face. Investigating any sensations in your face. What can you notice? Noticing your forehead. And noticing how you know where that is in space. Sensing into your eyes. What do they feel like? And sensing your cheeks. And if you were to suspend for a moment everything you know about your face in its boundaries, just sensing into this area with curiosity. Can you sense any boundaries to your face? Any boundaries to these sensations? Or is it rather a vast open space in which sensations appear and disappear? And then very gently bring your attention back to your whole body. Notice your body on the chair, or on the ground, or on the couch, wherever you have been sitting. Notice for a moment how your body is feeling right now compared to the beginning of the session. Notice what's present in your mind in this moment. And see if there's any feeling present. And then I invite you to slowly open your eyes if they were closed. And as you're opening your eyes, I invite you to take a moment and look around the room in which you are right now and see if there's anything that you see fresh or new about this room. Is it possible to look around with that same level of curiosity and just notice what you notice for a moment? Like one thing, for example, that I notice right now is the play of light in the different shades, the shadow, the light. There's even some sunlight playing on the wall. And for me, these little things, these ordinary things, are the real extraordinary things. Now, if we would do this session live, I would kind of be really curious about your experience. What was easy for you? What was difficult? What's maybe a major takeaway for you from this meditation? So maybe ask yourself, is there anything that you see fresh or new? Or by doing this meditation that you would like to explore in the rest of your day today, or maybe the rest of your week? And I'd also like to talk to a few things that are quite common when people meditate with me. So the first thing that could have happened maybe in your meditation was that you might have felt a little bit sleepy. And that could either be because of my voice, because I've been told by some of my clients that I'm a bit like Valium for the team, like people often get into this sort of sleepy space. It could also be that you're simply very tired, and in meditation, usually everything that's sort of present in our lives is amplified, and so maybe your body just needed a rest. And if you wanted to know what to do, I guess, if you feel tired during a meditation, one thing that you could be doing is bring more alertness into your posture. So, for example, sit with a bit of a straighter spine. I'm not always so good at that. I'm slouching sometimes a bit. And you could also feel your sitting bones, kind of like sharp razor blades against the chair or the surface that you're sitting on. And then another thing, if you had your eyes closed and you felt sleepy, it can also help sometimes to just open the eyes briefly to let in some light. Now, another thing that many beginners with meditation often struggle with, but even people who have meditated quite a bit, they often tell me like, I didn't manage to make my mind empty, or I didn't manage to kind of keep my thoughts away. And it doesn't matter how often I share this with anyone, that meditation is not about pushing the thoughts away or not about doing anything to the thoughts, but rather moving your attention to a place where you want your attention to be. And that it's completely normal to have many thoughts. There is this kind of notion that meditation is about this completely peaceful, empty mind. And everyone tries to battle with their thoughts, which usually makes more thoughts to come into the foreground. So if you struggle with many sort of distracting thoughts during the meditation, first is like if you stayed for the whole meditation despite many thoughts, you also really trained your level of patience, your ability to get out of your comfort zone, your resilience and your endurance, because you stayed with it. Secondly, every time you noticed that your attention was somewhere else in my instructions, there was a moment actually of progress where your attention muscle already got stronger, a bit like, I guess like a really strong workout for the mind. Well done. And the meditation time was still really usefully spent, I would say. Now, I'd also like to invite you to explore this notion of curiosity and finding the extraordinary in the ordinary in everyday life. So, for example, if you go outside tomorrow, I invite you to kind of pretend that you're walking in your street for the very first time, and to look around with that same curiosity and just notice what you notice. The same when you go onto a Zoom meeting, is it possible to really look at the other person? Obviously not kind of totally creeping them out, but just see if you can look at them with curiosity, and then just see what happens if you feel more joy or more of a spark. At the same time when you go out into nature. So thank you for being here with me today. I really enjoyed meditating with you. And please follow me on my profile to see when I'm going live next. And I wish you a wonderful day and a wonderful life. Until next time.